Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, led the Union through the Civil War and abolished slavery. Born in a log cabin in Kentucky, he rose from humble beginnings through self-education and determination. Lincoln's debates against Stephen Douglas brought him national attention, catapulting him to the forefront of the Republican Party. His presidency was consumed by the Civil War, but his Emancipation Proclamation redefined the conflict and paved the way for the 13th Amendment. Tragically, his life was cut short by an assassin's bullet, leaving behind a legacy as a national hero and one of the greatest presidents in history. Nelson Mandela was born Raleigh, a name meaning troublemaker. From lawyer, he became a revolutionary, leading armed resistance against apartheid. For this, he was imprisoned for 27 years. But international pressure led to his release and an unlikely partnership. Nelson Mandela became the first black president, uniting a nation. Elizabeth I, born in 1533, was daughter to Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Ascending to the throne in 1558, she became the longest reigning Tudor monarch. Elizabeth established the English Protestant Church, which evolved into the Church of England. As the Virgin Queen, she never married and was known for her motto, "I see and keep silent." Her reign, known as the Golden Age, saw flourishing in arts, exploration, and national identity. The man who brought down an empire was brought down by 3 bullets. Born in coastal India, he studied law in London. In South Africa, racial discrimination sparked his philosophy of satyagraha, or truth force, a form of non-violent resistance. Returning to India, he led major campaigns like the Salt March, defying British rule and inspiring millions. Independence came, but with it, partition and violence. Gandhi worked tirelessly for peace, but his vision of unity was tragically cut short. George Washington, born in 1732, wasn't always destined for greatness. In fact, he wanted to join the British Royal Navy, but his mother said no. Leading the Continental Army, Washington faced early defeats, but his daring crossing of the Delaware boosted morale. After the war, he could have been king, but he resigned his commission, establishing Republican ideals. As president, he warned against partisanship and foreign influence, advice that still resonates today. Winston Churchill's story begins with an American connection. Born at Blenheim Palace, his mother was Jenny Jerome, a Brooklyn socialite. From war correspondent to Parliament, Churchill sought action and attention. The Gallipoli disaster almost ended his career, but he went to the Western Front. In the 30s, he warned about Hitler while others appeased. In 1940, as Prime Minister, he rallied Britain and forged alliances to fight tyranny. His legacy as a symbol of resilience endures. Meet Joan of Arc, a peasant girl who became a teenage military leader. Claiming divine visions, she convinced the uncrowned King Charles VII to let her lead his army. At only 17, Joan inspired French troops to break the siege of Orleans, a major turning point in the war. Later captured, she was put on trial, found guilty of heresy, and burned at the stake at only 19 years old. 25 years later, her conviction was overturned, and she is now a national symbol of France and a Catholic saint. One of history's most successful military commanders, undefeated in battle, was Alexander the Great. Tutored by Aristotle, Alexander inherited a kingdom and an army ready to conquer. His military tactics, like the hammer and anvil, crushed enemies from Persia to India. But his empire crumbled after his death, ushering in an era of conflict. Was he a visionary leader or a ruthless conqueror? You decide. Julius Caesar, born into a noble family, claimed descent from a goddess. Caesar formed a secret alliance that dominated Rome. His military genius conquered new lands, but at a brutal cost. Declaring himself dictator for life, Caesar modernized Rome. Betrayed by those closest, his death changed the course of history. Genghis Khan, born Temujin around 1162, rose from humble beginnings to unite the Mongol tribes. He transformed Mongol society into a meritocracy, rewarding loyalty and skill, not birthright. His armies conquered vast territories, from China to Eastern Europe, creating the largest contiguous land empire in history. Mongol warriors were masters of mobility and archery, using composite bows with deadly accuracy. Genghis Khan remains a controversial figure, both revered as a national hero and reviled for the bloodshed caused by his conquests. Comment below if we missed anything. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. See you in the next one.